Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. I'm Arif and I welcome the students of Data Science Department, University of the Punjab, and all my virtual students around the globe to this new online course titled Tools and Technologies for Data Science. I'm really thankful to you all for all your appreciation and feedback for my previous online courses like computer organization and assembly language programming, operating systems, system programming, C refresher, and internet working with Linux. Since I have been recently transferred to the Data Science Department, University of the Punjab, so I'm switching gear to courses like Data Science, Machine Learning, Deep Learning, and Big Data. And this is the first course of this expected series of courses. I want you to please wish me good luck for this. My dear students, in this course we will be learning the tools and the technologies involved in data science, and of course we will have an overview of machine learning, deep learning, big data, and a bit of some required statistical and mathematical concepts. My dear students, all this learning will be achieved in a hands-on learning environment with every concept practically implemented and mapped using the famous Python programming language. Pre-hand knowledge of Python programming will be a plus for this course. However, if you have never programmed in Python, don't worry, as I intend having a separate module on overview of basic programming. Okay, so before we get down to work, let me thank all those who have motivated me to prepare and teach this course, and also helped me in preparing slides and Python code snippets for proof of concepts. Let me also take this opportunity to thank my wife. She has always been very accommodative whenever I am busy in preparing and teaching new courses. If I will ever wear a hat in future, that will be off to her. Okay, enough of chit chat. Let's get down to work. Dear students, this is the first slide designed and prepared by my son Hadid Bhatt, of course by taking various images from the internet. This is the first lecture of section 1 of this course, in which I will be giving you the overview of the course titled Tools and Technologies for Data Science. Well, my dear students, do subscribe my YouTube channel and hit the bell icon to get notified about the new videos as I upload them. And last but not the least, do share it with your friends. Okay, so here is the agenda of today's session. I will start with the brief description about myself, and since this is also a taught course at Department of Data Science, University of the Punjab, so we'll spend a few minutes on course information and class protocols. And today I will give you an overview of the structured, semi-structured and unstructured data all around us. And the science that deals with this big data is called data science. We will discuss the variety of applications of data science and the factors that makes them ubiquitous. And at the end of today's session, we will have a discussion on the course metrics, which will be comprised of around I think 9 sections or modules maybe. Well, this is me, and I am Muhammad Arif Bhatt, an assistant professor at Department of Data Science, University of the Punjab, Lahore, Pakistan. I am an ex-Pakistan Army officer. After retirement, I did my MSc and MPhil Computer Science both with a gold medal and earned my PhD in Computer Science from University of the Punjab. My students can always access all my teaching resources and video lectures from my personal website, arifbhatt.me. And let us talk about course information and protocols quickly. Well, my dear students, this is a textbook. You can access all the lecture slides at arifpat.me. My video lectures will be available on my YouTube channel, Learn with Arif. All the codes that I will be discussing throughout this course in different modules will be comprised of different Python notebooks and datasets. They will be available on my GitHub repository, Arif PUCIT, and inside that we have the repo data science, that is the course repo of this course. And the grades for the local students will be available on this link, and the rest of the information is for the local students. Okay, so these are the grading criteria for the department students. This course can be taught to the undergraduate as well as for the graduate students as well. However, for the graduate students, there are tens of research articles and additional programming assignments that they have to read and submit during the duration of that course. And remember, my students never cheat. No late assignment submissions, and no resit quizzes or exams. Okay, dear students, have you ever heard of a physical workout class where the instructor do all the exercises and everyone else just watch attentively? Well, your answer will of course be a big no. And our lectures will also be a mental workout class. So in my lecture, I expect my students to use their own brain, note the concepts, discuss in class using the copy pencil, understand and then implement them using Python for a proof of concept. Last but not the least, I am a big believer in communicating. So speak up, ask questions, and participate in the class. My dear students, this is the age of data, and before we discuss about the categories of data, let me put the stage right by talking about the different sources that generate data and are all around us in the current era, that is in 2021. Well, you might remember the times when we have such kind of telephones with dials and number in between, and we used to go to the PCO booths to make a phone call. We did not generate a lot of data at that time, as we used to memorize the phone numbers of our family members and friends, or some of us used to have a diary with us containing the contact information. But today we have smartphones which stores and generate a lot of data. Almost everything about us is in our mobile phones. All our contact details, pictures, audios, videos, games, and applications. And of course, all these mobile applications generate lots and lots of data. Similarly, in old days, not very old, we used to have our personal desktop computers having small floppy disks and later hard disks that used to store some gigabytes of data in our local machine. But today we have the concept of cloud that, other than processing, stores huge amount of data, which we can access anywhere, anytime. Similarly, as opposed to these old-fashioned cars, today we have smart cars, which are connected to the internet, connected to your mobile phones via Bluetooth, playing audio and video files after downloading them from somewhere, the cloud storage. And you all might also have heard about the self-driving cars as well. So to summarize, the evolution of technology is generating lots and lots of data. And in order to process this huge amount of data, we need more complex algorithms, tools, and technologies. And this is where data science comes for our rescue. My dear students, another huge source of data generation these days is the Internet of Things, which is, in simple terms, is uh, a collection of interconnected devices that communicate and transfer data through the internet. These days, almost everything is connected to the internet. The security gadgets in a smart home, the CCTV cameras, home appliances, GPS tracked vehicles, the Fitbit watches that we wear, and even our pets are having GPS chips these days. They are all generating an unimaginable amount of data that is communicated on the internet to various other devices. Well, as per Cisco recent survey, IoT is generating more than around 500 zettabytes of data per year, and this number is increasing through time. Well, just imagine storing, processing, analyzing, and managing this huge amount of data. Now, let me tell you how social media is playing its role in the generation of this data. On Twitter, 348,000 tweets are published every minute. On Instagram, over 1.7 million pictures are uploaded every minute. On Facebook, in 1 minute, 200,000 photos are uploaded with over 4 million likes. Computer users generate around 2 billion emails every minute. And last but not the least, around 300 hours of videos are uploaded on YouTube every minute. And this video of mine that you are watching right now is part of it. My dear students, once again, just imagine processing and analyzing this much data and then trying to figure out important insights from it. Well, apart from social media and IoT, there are so many other factors as well that are the source of a huge amount of data these days. Media and entertainment. When we watch videos or listen music using entertainment channels, we are generating a lot of data. In the healthcare domain, one example is our Fitbit watches that transmit various vitals of human body on the internet. This education has also gone online, particularly during the COVID situation since the last 2 years. In the transportation domain as well, I read a recent estimate according to which a single jet engine commercial flight generates around 10 terabytes of data in 30 minutes of flight time. And with many thousand flights per day, the generation of data reaches up to many petabytes. And the list of data generation sources goes on and on to banking, finance, insurance, and different government setups as well. My dear friends, data science is all about extracting the useful insights from this big data and using it to grow the business. Well, now that we have a fair idea about the plethora of data generation sources, let us now talk about the categories of data that these sources generate. And let us start with the structured data. Well, structured data sometimes they come with, but most of the time they come with the predefined formats and predefined structures that make them easily searchable. Uh, for example, an employee table in a relational database management system is an example of structured data that may contain customer names and their personal information like their national ID card number, address, date of birth, and so on. And structured data normally resides in database, data mart, or data warehouse. And you all must be knowing that database is an electronic repository for structured data generated by a single source. And some examples of relational database management systems are MySQL, Microsoft SQL, uh, Oracle, PostgreSQL, and the list is quite long. Well, this data warehouse, on the other hand, is a relational database that can handle, store, and bring to one place structured data sets coming from multiple sources. In case of this database, we have uh, data coming from a single source. One of the main difference in database and data warehouses, in case of data warehouse, uh, of course the data is structured, but that is coming from multiple sources. And some example of data warehouse management systems are Apache Hive, Amazon Redshift, Teradata, Oracle Exadata. These all are examples of data warehouses. And as far as this data mart is concerned, it holds a limited amount of structured data for let's suppose sales or marketing in a single line of business. And finally, the application areas for structured data are inventory control, airline reservation system, and there are many more. Well, this is all about the structured data. Let's talk about the semi-structured data now. Well, semi-structured data is loosely organized, can be in HTML, XML, or a JSON format, and normally not stored in a relational database. Some examples of semi-structured data include server logs, tweets organized by hashtags, email sorting by folders, and so on. Well, semi-structured data resides in files with tagged format like hypertext markup language, extensible markup language, and JavaScript object notation. And typical applications that deals with semi-structured data include sensor output and server logs. My dear students, any data with unknown form or structure is classified as unstructured data. Unstructured data has no predefined format and, of course, is difficult to search from within. In addition to the size being huge, unstructured data poses multiple challenges in terms of its processing and driving required information from within. Well, a typical human-generated unstructured data includes text files, emails, and the data generated via mobile phones and social media. And some examples of machine-generated unstructured data includes satellite imagery, digital surveillance, and of course the sensor data also falls in this category. Well, unstructured data usually resides in what we call our data lake. Excuse me. Our data lake is a large electronic repository that is used to store all the three categories of data from multiple sources. Data lakes are excellent feeding grounds for big data, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning programs. Some examples are Microsoft Azure Data Lake Storage, Amazon Web Service Data Lake, and Intelligent Data Lake by Informatica. Well, typical applications include WhatsApp, Zoom, Skype, email clients, and all the audio, video viewing and editing tools. So this was all about the unstructured data, my dear students. Now we have a fair idea of various data sources and the three main categories of data. It is time to understand the science that deals with this data. So the question is, what is data science? Let me now address this $100 question. My dear students, data science is an interdisciplinary field that uses scientific methods, processes, algorithms, and systems to extract knowledge and insight from structured and unstructured data related to a business problem. Let me repeat again. Data science is an interdisciplinary field that uses scientific methods, processes, algorithms, and systems to extract knowledge and insights from structured and unstructured data related to a business problem. My dear students, data science is getting ubiquitous these days. A lot of companies are investing heavily in the domains of data science, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning. And why companies are making these heavy investments is driven by four fundamental resources. First reason is the continuous increasing number of devices connected to the internet and emitting data on regular basis. Well, this graph from IoT Analytics shows the increasing count of IoT as well as the non-IoT devices in the last 10 years. By the expected growth rate of 13%, the count of interconnected devices will reach up to 41.2 billion by the year 2025. With every passing day, these devices are getting smarter and smarter by using data science, machine learning, and deep learning technologies. Second reason that made the world move to data science technologies is the decreasing internet transit pricing. Well, this graph by Dr. Peering shows that in the year 1998, it used to cost around $1,200 to transit data at the speed of 1 megabits per second. And in the year 2015, the cost has gone down to $0.63 per megabit per second. Well, the third reason that makes data science ubiquitous is the significantly increasing cost of data storage, rather significantly decreasing cost of data storage. And what used to cost us $1 million back in 1980s now just cost a few cents. And finally, billion of connected devices are generating more and more data every day, which we can store cheaply. At the same time, we can now process. We can now process this huge amount of data at a very low price. And with the advent of cloud technologies and the power that it provides to people like you and me, we can always use the services provided by the cloud for all this processing, for the processing of this huge data. And this graph shows the cost per million standard operations per second. The prices have fallen so much that the graph is using log scales. Well, my dear students, now you all have a fair idea as to how cheap these fundamental resources have become. Let us see how different companies are using data science in various domains of our routine life. That is, various applications of data science. Well, first of all, let us see how different social media companies are using data science and machine learning to improve and grow their business. Recommendation systems. My dear students, while using social networking sites like Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, you all must have observed the feature people you may know, suggesting you who do you need to follow. Well, these companies use machine learning algorithms to look at your profile, the place you belong to, your interest, your current friends, their friends, and a whole bunch of other variables to make these recommendations. Similarly, while watching movies on Netflix, you might also have observed their recommendation system, which recommends you to watch a specific movie based on your viewing history, how long you have watched different titles in the past, the movie categories you normally watch, the actors, and maybe your age and gender as well. All these pieces of data are used as input to machine learning algorithms for this decision making and the decision of these recommendation systems used by different social media companies. Similarly, ad placement is another feature Based on user data, these companies show you personalized advertisement that help optimizing the revenue of these companies. Sentiment analysis. Companies like Facebook, Twitter also perform complex machine learning and deep learning algorithms to perform sentiment analysis to what the users are saying and may block some users on some unethical post, for example. And email filtering is something that you all might have come across. Applications like Gmail, Yahoo Mail, Microsoft Outlook Express, they allow us to have customized labels like primary, social, promotion, and intelligently place our emails into these different bins for ease of our usage, of course. And last but not the least, identify whether an email is spam or not. Well, I think to identify a spam email, the algorithm might look at the features like the time email was sent, the sender email address, maybe the sentiment of the email text. Maybe it also consider the use of the number of slang words or non-dictionary words, and maybe many more. Let us now see how the banking domain is using data science and machine learning to grow their business. Well, have you ever thought how banks decide the right credit limit for their credit card customer? How the banking system detects a fraud transaction? How the banks analyze the debit credit made in an account to identify where the money is coming from and what is the source of income? How the banks offer different competitive interest rate to different clients? My dear students, today banking world is heavily using data science and machine learning to perform all these tasks. Let's move on to the e-commerce domain now. The e-commerce domain is also having heavily dependent on data science and machine learning to offer different services to their clients and customers. Uh, the recommendation systems of Amazon, Flipkart, and Snapdeal, they use the system to suggest right products to their customers based on their purchase history. Upselling and cross-selling. You all might be knowing upselling is the practice of encouraging customers to purchase a higher-end product than the one in question. And similarly, cross-selling invites customers to buy related or complementary items. Uh, you all might have observed when you go to buy a burger on Food Panda, they suggest you to buy French fries or maybe a cold drink as well. This is called cross-selling. And you might have observed that you have gone on maybe Amazon.com or the Snapdeal, and you are buying, let's suppose, a Samsung mobile. They may be suggesting you to buy an Apple mobile. This is called upselling. Similarly, discount price optimization that let the companies decide how much discount should be given on what all products and when that should be given. And of course, business forecasting helps the companies in forecasting the demand of different items, and therefore the companies will be able to manage their inventories easily. Anyway, search engines like Google, Bing, Yahoo, and Baidu also extensively use data science and machine learning to power their search algorithms, the ad placement, and personalized search results. Well, my dear friends, while traveling in Uber or Cream or maybe Lyft or Ola, you might have observed their dynamic pricing feature, uh, which adjusts the price depending on factors like weather, traffic conditions, location, time of the day, and overall customer demand. Uh, we all have used the best route selection service of Google Map, and different airlines also use data science and machine learning to predict flight delays. Data science is also extensively used in medical imaging, X-rays, ultrasounds, and MRI scans. to diagnose possible issues in patients. There are different wearables like the Fitbit watches I have already talked about that track the blood pressure, heart rate, sugar level, uh, and based on the current health data, the system may trigger an alarm to a remote system. This Seeing AI, uh, this is a beautiful application designed by Microsoft for people having vision impairment. The application sees the world through the camera of a smartphone and tells in real time to the person in his ears what is in front of them. And a great service that Microsoft has done. My dear students, these all are the fruits of data science and machine learning. In the field of automation as well, data science is playing its part. Uh, Data science and machine learning has also made it possible to process real-time images and video data and perform image classification, object detection, object segmentation, and object tracking. And using these technologies, uh, the self-driving cars can detect surrounding objects, the distance between the car in front, location of pavement maybe, and traffic signals along with many other things. Well, credit card insurance companies, they also detect fraud and perform claim prediction to reduce the financial loss for that company or bank. So these are the list of the application areas. The list is quite huge. I have just tried to summarize them in 2 slides. Okay, so far so good. Before we close today's session, let us have a quick discussion on the course metrics as well, what we are going to learn in this entire course. I have divided this course in 9 modules. In module 1, we will have the overview of the course, and today's session is part of it. We'll also talk about the tools and technologies used in data science, the data science life cycle, and so on. We'll also have a hands-on session on Git and GitHub for data. And the reading task will be assigned as the course will continue. Module 2 is optional for the students who already have done programming in Python. Uh, However, if you do not have hands-on experience of working on Python, I will recommend that you should go with different lectures of this module as well. We'll talk about different Python environments, Python data structures like list, tuple, set, and dictionary. We'll talk about selection and repetition structures quickly, lambda functions, Python modules, packages, libraries, and basic file handling. In module 3, we will practically learn about the Python libraries that are a must for data scientists like NumPy, SciPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, and Seaborn. In module 4, we will recap the linear algebra, calculus, descriptive and inferential statistics that is required for data science, machine learning, and deep learning. This will be very applied, and we will be using Python to understand practically how different concepts that we discuss in these different lectures will be mapped. In module 5, my dear students, we will make our hands dirty to deploy various SQL and NoSQL databases, perform data acquisition from these databases, as well as scraping the data from the websites. In module 6, this is where we are going to apply all the knowledge learned so far and perform data wrangling and exploratory data analysis. This is where, being data analyst, we will make the real life data set ready to be used by the machine learning engineer. Okay, this data cleaning and data wrangling, these are two very important parts that play the role in data science. In simple words, you can say that this data cleaning enhances the data accuracy and integrity, while this data wrangling process prepares the data structure for modeling. So data cleaning focuses on removing inaccurate data from your data set, and data wrangling actually focuses on transforming the data format. Of course, we will learn all these things in details in the upcoming videos. Well, in module 7, we will have an overview of machine learning and we'll use Python's scikit-learn library for the model creation, training and evaluation. Module 8 will give the audience a bird's eye view of deep learning and its application. And of course, we will try doing a Hello World project using TensorFlow or maybe Keras. And module 9 will also be a short module giving a bird's eye view of various tools and technologies related to big data. Okay, so this will be the ninth and last module. Okay, so that is all for today's session, my dear students. Uh, I hope it was informative, and the upcoming sessions will also be very informative for you all. If you have liked it, please subscribe my YouTube channel and share it with your friends. I wish you all the best. Happy learning and Allah Hafiz.